everybody. My name's Alan, and on behalf of my co-host Wistancia and the crew of the show, I'd like to welcome you to another edition of Bridging Heaven and Earth. We're really excited tonight. We're excited about the show tonight, and we're also excited that we've got we found out this week that we're going to be on coast to coast, basically. I mean, not nationally, not everywhere, but we are on in New York, we are on in Washington, D.C., and this week we got two new stations, one in Sacramento and one in the L.A. area, City of Industry around there. So, I mean, we're on in a lot of cities. I haven't counted in a while, but I would say we're on probably 30 or 35 cities. So, and we get, now it's really powerful because I get calls, I send the shows out in order. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're up to, this is show 30, and I send them out in order. So I get calls from people all over the country saying, you know, I really loved your show, and I said, which one was it? Because I don't really know, and you know, so we can give information about the artists and stuff. And so tonight we really have a wonderful show. It's a show of beautiful music. As a matter of fact, the music you hear behind me now is our musical guest, and we're going to talk to him later too, Dwain Briggs, who just makes beautiful music. He's a singer and a songwriter, a composer, and he's going to be playing behind Wistancia's invocation and the meditation, so you'll hear his music for a good part of the show. And we also have, I don't know what angles you can see, what the camera shots are, but we have some incredible paintings around the set, and done by Kathryn who is an inspirational person and is an inspirational artist. So we have some really beautiful music and some beautiful images to share with you tonight. So we hope you're in a state where you can experience the beauty of them and open to them and inspire you to more and more love in your lives. So as we usually do at this time, Wistancia is going to lead us in an invocation and a meditation. Actually, tonight's going to be more of a guided meditation with Dwain playing behind it, so it should be really exciting. So, Wistancia?
Thank you, Alan. So maybe we can just take a breath together and we can breathe in, and when we breathe in, we can breathe in the peace and the power of our own beings. And when we breathe tonight in all of our breaths, maybe we can call forth all the times before when we have experienced an overflowing and an infusion of light and love and peace within our being. And tonight we ask for an amplification of all of that. And when we breathe out, we can let go of all the tensions and everything that the body has been holding on to, everything that the emotional body and the mental body has been holding on to that can now let go of as we move into the shift of the ages, as we move into our own higher self, into more and more love of our own Christed being. And tonight we call forth and make an invocation, and we call forth the archangels of all of the higher rays and the 7 primary rays, and we call forth into this room and into your homes Archangel Michael to bring in the first ray energy and the faith and protection of that ray. And we ask you, Michael, to please reach into our bodies and help us to clear any unwanted energy, if this is your free will, and let it go now. And we call forth also to Archangel Hamuel to bring in the divine love energies with his angels, and Archangel Zadkiel to bring in the energy of the 7th ray and the violet flame, to transmute all unwanted and old programs as we open up to the new, to the love, and to the Christ within us. And we knock upon the office of the Christ, and we ask that all of those beings in the Christed realms come and stand with us, calling forth to Lord Maitreya, the president of the spiritual hierarchy, as we call forth all the hierarchy to come and be with us tonight. And we also call forth to the cosmic hierarchy to come and be with us and overlight us at the universal levels, at the galactic levels with Melchior, the universal levels with Lord Melchizedek. And we call forth tonight also the energies from the solar realms of Helios and Vesta to come and overlight us and infuse us and move and join with our own light of our deep I Am presence, which is the highest part of all of us. And tonight I ask you, if you wish to, please begin to feel your own energy. Begin to feel the energy below your feet and above your head, the energy past your fingertips, and all the energy that is your great energy that is before you and all around you in a circle. For you hold, every time you move and every time you're still, an enormous field of light and love that is yours, and just getting in touch with it, and it comes in and it's in your breath and it's swirling around you as we ask for a great blessing this night, an activation of our energy fields, an activation of our light and our love from all of the masters and all of the angels. And so call forth now a four-sided pyramid, a tetrahedron of light from your own energy field, and let the point downwards, coming down from the Father's kingdom, from your own I Am presence, and let it come down over you. And this energy field is already created around you. And just to visualize or bring down that four-sided pyramid from above, and then bring up another one with the point upwards, coming down from the earth, from the center of the earth, coming up from Divine Mother energies. And now if you can just let the two tetrahedrons, the two Star of Davids that it forms when these two pyramids come together, let them form and cross at your heart so that you are in the center of this energy field of light called a Merkaba. And then by your intention and by your love and your commitment to grow and evolve and join the above with the below, join the heaven with the earth, the spiritual with your physical body, begin to consciously move that energy, that Star of David that you are sitting within, and move it around you and let it spin around you. And we call forth now that the masters join with us in spinning this and bring about this great joining together of our highest aspects with our lowest, with our spiritual aspects with our physical, in that great celestial marriage of the above with the below within you and all around you. And tonight, during the entire night, with every tone of music, with every picture that we see, with all of the words that are spoken, you have the ability to sit and keep the spinning vortex around you so that you can raise your vibration of light. And at any time you can go back and move this star in front of you and within you, and just continue to spin and raise your own velocity of light, and raise it into your I Am presence, and bring it all into a wholeness so that you can feel your open heart. So thank you for doing this. I can feel the energy moving in the room. It's really, really beautiful now. And I would like to direct you now to Dwain Briggs singing the Peace Prayer. He's going to sing 2 songs.
Your love, Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me bring your love. Where there is injury, pardon. And where there is doubting, let me bring your faith. And Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is despairing, let me bring your hope. Where there is darkness, your light. And where there is sadness, let me bring your joy. O divine Master, grant that I might seek not so much to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, not so much to be loved as to love another. For it is in giving that we now receive, and it is in pardoning that we are now pardoned, and it is in dying that we are now born again. And Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me bring your love. Your love. Your love, love, your love, your love. Out of confusion, now I can see. Out of confusion, oh how it's so clear to me. There's no reason to be looking over here and over there, when each moment is forever as all illusions disappear. disappear. And now that I've decided to awaken from the dream, there's a new song in creation, in harmony with everything. Out of confusion, now I can see. Out of confusion, oh, how that's so clear to me. I have everything I need. No more searching for the answers as I'm waiting in the wings, when the movement of the dancer shapes the very words I sing. And now that I've decided to awaken from the dream, there's a new song in creation, in harmony with everything, everything. Out of confusion, now I can see. Out of confusion, oh, how it's so clear to me. I have everything I need. I have everything, everything I need. Out of confusion.
Thank you, Dwain. That was
That was
fantastic.
amazing.
Thank you.
That second one he wrote himself. I know that. It's really
So
beautiful.
now we have with us, I don't know if when we were watching Dwain sing, I thought I saw on the monitor that over his shoulder we saw this incredible picture. And the picture was done by Kathryn Donatelli, who's here with us. Thanks for coming. It's great to have you.
Greetings. Yeah.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
I remember when we first saw your art, I think we were at one of the expos,
The Whole
and we were
Life
walking up and down all the aisles, and then we saw that, I think it was that one, or a picture of that one, and it was like, oh my God, we have to find this woman. We have to find this person. So here you are. And maybe you can, well, you and I have spoken, you know, so maybe you can start out maybe by just telling us a little bit about how the unique way that you came into this world with your physical body, your divine body, and maybe that we could start from there.
Well, I was born without feet, and they said I would never walk, and of course I do. And I think that my parents, just the way that they were about it, they were so beautiful. You know, they said, oh, she'll walk, everything will be fine, she's beautiful, she's perfect, you know. And I never had a problem with that. And actually it was a blessing that it happened. And I believe that because of that, that there are certain things that I'm more aware of as far as like the suffering that people go through, the things like that. And I see people as individuals, and I just think that I see different like layers of people instead of the surface, you know, of what's apparent.
It's probably your soul's choice to come in. I've come to know that it's something we make these choices about our life, you know, and just so that, because obviously you're very, very close to Source, you know, and it comes through in your paintings, and It's amazing. So you had but your childhood, was your childhood difficult then? I mean, did you learn the lessons of difficulty?
Well,
with ridicule and just the way children can be.
Yeah, it's kind of a strange thing to talk about actually in front of a lot of people.
Not too many people watch the show, so you're fairly safe.
You already said that it's on in 30.
So I'm safe, right?
But I'm talking about tonight, so by the time they see it, now you can feel confident.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it was a combination of the kids that I went to school with. I think were a little uncomfortable around it, didn't understand it, and their parents certainly didn't help them to understand it. Because if they did, they would have been a little different towards me.
Right.
Well, when did you find out that you had this talent and and this ability to draw? Was it during that time? As a child?
Yeah, I was a child. Before I even went to school, I would draw. I would look at things and draw it and make it look pretty good, like what it was. Right. People could tell what it was, as a child when you're drawing. So I got a lot of encouragement from people, and I had neighbors that were very good artists, and they taught me. They saw my talent, and they, taught me things, and I always loved it. I always loved it. I got in trouble in school, a couple times for drawing.
Yeah.
Instead of listening.
Right.
Instead of paying attention, I was drawing. Yeah.
But when did you start drawing angels? And what was that about? I mean, how did that reflect your spiritual growth?
That's kind of recent. It started about 5 years ago, and I had a couple of traumatic things happen in a row. I lost my job as an art director. The magazine went out of business, and I lost my job. And the person that I was with at the time decided that it was over. So I had to move. So I had, no place to go, no job.
Change,
a lot of upheaval, huh?
Really, and where I landed, the first thing I did was I started to paint angels, and the way it happened was that I was studying a painting, and I said, now what does that need? It needs something. Something's missing. And I just heard the word, it needs a wing. Really? Okay, it needs a wing. And I went, a wing? And I'm like, I'm talking to myself here.
Right.
And it was kind of strange, but it wasn't anything phenomenal. And so I said, that might look good. So I tried it, and it looked great. So I said, wow, that's really great.
Do you feel any different when you're doing certain subjects as opposed to other subjects?
Yes.
You
definitely.
do?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When we were talking, you were telling me about feeling that you're overlit by a master artist, When did you become aware that someone was drawing through you?
There's been many times when I've sat down to draw or paint, and after a while I would look at it and say, where did that come from? Did I do that? That kind of thing. It sounds funny, but I was probably in a zone or whatever. But I thought sometimes, because when I would paint, I would look and be reminded of a particular artist in the painting, in the way I painted it, and I didn't deliberately set out to do it like that. And so I just started to think, well, maybe I'm not the only one painting here,
But did you feel an energy? Can you feel an energy? Or?
No, it wasn't that apparent. Mm-hmm. But I went to a psychic, a very good psychic. Can I mention his name? Yeah, Peter James, who he's on sightings a lot, and I met him, and he invited me to come to him because he said he couldn't believe there was some kind of life force or energy, and he wanted to do a reading for me, so he invited me.
This was after speaking to you on the phone. He sensed something. Is that right?
No, I met him at a party where I had donated some art.
I see.
And he said when I walked in the room, he felt this force hit his back, and he turned around, and
No kidding.
And I said, okay,
Right.
whatever.
Right.
And he said, I want to do a reading for you. So when he did the reading, he said that there was a very famous artist who had been alive at a certain point that was channeling through me.
No kidding.
Do you know who that one is?
I kind of guess that it's Bertha Morisot. She's an impressionist. She's very little known as far as a household word, but in the art world, she's very well known.
Why don't we just start describing some of these pictures?
Okay.
I mean,
Okay, let's start with that
incredible.
amazing one over there.
The one that we were looking at over Dwain's shoulder.
Maybe
So-
you could just tell us,
Yeah,
you
tell
know,
us a little
about
about how it came to.
Oh,
or the name of it.
I'm waiting
Yeah,
for
you-
you to describe it.
Right.
Because when I, you know,
The
Kathryn-
camera will describe it.
Yeah,
You tell her how
okay.
it came to be.
Now that one, I saw a photograph taken of these people who I met. Once I started to paint, they came over to look at the painting, and it just, what I do is I see in photographs something inspires me, and I see something very spiritual in the body language or in a movement or in something going on. It just inspires me, and I see it complete as how you see them here.
Right.
And so when I was painting it, I put a cloud behind her, and it actually reminded me of a wing, so I kept going with it to kind of make it look more like that. And then, you know, the moon, I said, well, it needs a moon, and the moon kind of landed behind the little baby's head. So I said, you know, it's a cloud wing halo moon painting.
You know, it never occurred to me that was a cloud. I mean, first time I saw it as
That's
a
what
wing,
we
and I
saw,
went, wow,
yeah,
an angel
absolutely.
is carrying that baby.
Yeah, it looks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly.
and the
what it
baby's
was.
illuminated. You know, that's really what was trying to happen on your canvas.
The process is kind of mysterious even to me. It just kind of starts to appear or occur as I'm doing it, and it reminds me of it, and I go, oh, well,
That's incredible.
let's carry it further, you know, and see what else happens.
And maybe what about the second one?
Want the little baby?
It was the same thing. This little girl was being photographed by the same woman who photographed that, and they put a cloth around her during a break, and she leaned forward like that, and I went, oh, take that picture, because there was just something very angelic and pure about it. It was so beautiful. So that wasn't even what she was wearing for the shots. They covered her with this cloth, and she was my next angel.
Wonderful. That's a beautiful one.
I don't think we've gotten that one yet on camera. Let's see.
Oh.
Let's just
Oh,
wait.
yeah,
we're still on the other one. Everybody liked that one so much. Here it
Right,
comes.
they're just completely going through, journeying through that angel's
Yeah, the big ones are
face.
easier to work with. So yeah, here's the other one. So this is the one where they. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
What a sweet child.
And she became my first card. I also make handmade cards. She became my first card, and she got a great response. And so, since I painted her, she's actually a pastel drawing. Since I did her, I've done about 12 more angels that have all become cards, and people love them.
Wonderful for you.
Do you have posters also, or just cards? I only saw the cards. I think.
I
at
just
the
have posters and some 8x10.
You have cards
prints.
and 8x10. Yeah. No big
No
posters.
posters, no.
All right, and how about the next one that's over here? Well, I think it'll come up on the monitor
You
in
can
a
just
second. Yeah, there it
start
is.
talking about it.
Yeah,
Okay, that's actually a picture of my nephew that my sister gave me, and I saw the photograph of him, and I said, "Oh, another angel." And I don't deliberately seek out these figures. I see them, and it's just there, and I have to do it.
Right. That's incredible. And the next one? How did that come to be?
The next
pull that
one
one up a
is the same little girl as the second one, only her face is a little different in it. And it was the same thing. I saw, it was actually the same photo session. And I wanted to make a mate for the first one that I did. And this became like the mate to that.
So sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's incredible. What a
Because
face.
people love the first one so much, the stuff, the colors in it and the feeling that's in the pastel itself and her curly hair.
You know what I noticed? The eyes are incredibly powerful. Do you?
Oh.
How does it work with the? Do Do you have a certain sense of the eyes, a certain feeling?
That's where, in the eyes, that's where, exactly, that's where the soul comes through.
Right, and that's where you sense
eyes.
it.
Oh, absolutely.
So this is another big one that we have with this, So how did this come
That's
to
my sister, and she was modeling for me, posing for me, and when I looked through the photographs later, I said, another angel.
Really?
Yeah. And in the eyes themselves, that's, to me, that's really what makes the painting, you know, is the expression in the eyes.
She's very powerful, and I feel like, in a sense, you captured the physicality of angels who are living on the earth.
Yeah, she's a protector, and she's protecting, actually, she's sitting at the gates to the outside of paradise, and she's protecting people from leaving paradise. Is actually what that is. I don't even know what it means, but I painted it, right?
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So you also have developed this skill and this talent of painting pictures of people who've died. And how did that?
Well, sometimes people ask me to paint a portrait of someone who's passed away, and because they want to, you know, they want something to look at, and many times the portraits that I do have a lot more life in them than a photograph does. And so when I'm painting it, if I've never met the person, it's more difficult to paint, but when someone who knows the person is standing there with me and describes the person, the more I work on it, the more they get, like, they can't believe that they come to life, you know, on the canvas, and it's something to them that's very healing and very comforting to feel the presence of that person, especially since they're no longer on this earth, but they can look at the painting and get a sense of that person being with them. I did a painting of my grandmother who passed away, and I have that painting with me. She was my friend. I love her, and she's still here. I look at that painting and she's still here.
Well, you're bringing a lot of comfort to people, in many different ways. That's a real gift. And you made that decision, didn't you, early on?
Yes.
After experiencing pain, that you were here to kind of lighten people's burdens and bring love, and didn't you?
Oh, I love to listen to people.
I didn't think you were going to say that, but when you said that to me on the phone, I felt, you know, tears coming in my eyes. It was like, you know, my sense, you know, and I'm not trying to lay a trip on you, but my sense is that you have angelic heritage, and that you had just made that decision to come here for that.
I love to listen to people. It's like something that gives me a lot of joy, you know, and people love to talk about their problems. It relieves their problems and lifts them, you know, and it's the listening that I think is the most important part, the way I listen.
Really, thank you for
How would you describe, do you say, like, you can listen with an open heart, and people sense that and feel that, and it's like unconditional in a way, listening unconditional.
I know what they're saying, and that's how I can listen. Yeah.
Is it time to listen to another song?
Yeah, are we going to listen to Dwain?
Yes. Look, I think Dwain is going to be singing another song for us.
Okay, so whenever Dwain gets ready, we'll be all set up. So it's in this very room. Actually, I don't know if people have been watching a lot of the shows. We had somebody else sing it, and it was my favorite song when she sang it. And then when I heard Dwain's album, I said, "My God, who wrote this?" And neither one of them wrote it, and they both sing it great. But it's a very beautiful song. So, Dwain, whenever we're ready. Thank you.
In this very room, there's quite enough love for one like me. And in this very room, there's quite enough joy for one like me. And there's quite enough hope and quite enough power to chase away any gloom. For Spirit, God's Spirit is in this very room, in this very room, and in this very room there's quite enough love for all of us. And in this very room there's quite enough joy for all of us. And there's quite enough hope and quite enough power to chase away any gloom. For Spirit, God's Spirit is in this very room, in this very room, and in this very room there's quite enough love for all the world. And in this very room there's quite enough joy for all the world. And there's quite enough hope and quite enough power to chase away any gloom. For Spirit, God's Spirit is in this very room, in this very room. Yes, Spirit is in this very room.
Thank you so much. That is so
Very nice.
beautiful.
Thank you.
You know, I heard him sing this in May, and we were in this huge room. It was in Mount Shasta, and it was a very, very special gathering of 1,200 people. You know, and we were really all transformed, and we had come together as one being in this room, all 1,200. And when he sang that song, I really almost hit the roof. You know, I mean, it was just an explosion. You know, and I had this experience of when he was singing in this very room. Of this very room was also my body. It was. You know, it wasn't just the room where we become one, but it was like in this very room, and in the room was my heart. And I had this amazing, I don't think I ever told Dwain, you know, that I had this really amazing experience with that song. It's one of my favorites.
That was incredible. Yeah.
So maybe you could just tell us, you know, briefly about this mural that you're doing. You're doing a
Murals
huge...
Across America project that you're involved in?
Actually, my partner and I are designing this project for children to learn to paint. And when I first thought of it, the Angels Across America, I was thinking of large mural paintings of angels. And it's kind of developed into a project where actually the children are the angels, and you know, and they're learning to paint, and they're painting beautiful murals. And anyway, there's a lot of interest about it. right now, and there's a nonprofit organization that
gonna
we're
fund it
working
and-
with,
oh,
and right,
great.
Good.
and there's
exciting.
several corporate people that are very interested in seeing our proposal, and
Oh,
Good
that's
luck
exciting.
to you.
Yeah,
with
it
that,
is.
really.
Yeah, that could be great.
So, greetings, Dwain.
Hello, hello.
Time finally arrived. I called you
Yes.
months ago, and I was so right after. Actually, I came up to you after, when one of those days in Mount Shasta and said,
Right.
you know, here's my card, and I was getting really brave then, as you know,
I was
coordinator.
too.
But it really, that song just completely, you know, I was just weeping.
Well,
Weeping at We Suck.
It's a really beautiful invocational song, and it's written by Ron and Carol Harris. I think we should give them credit.
Right.
They've done a beautiful job with it, and they allowed me to change the lyrics slightly on it for the type of audience that I perform
Right.
for. And it's a beautiful invocational song.
Well, all the songs that you sing are really beautiful.
Thank you.
You're amazing. You write some of them and just sort of sing all over the country on your little tours. When did you start
Yeah.
doing all this?
Well, I started doing it about the beginning of 1992, and I had been I'd been singing with a man by the name of Paul Masters, and he is a metaphysical teacher, and he has an organization called the University of Metaphysics, and he heard a tape that I had with the song One God and the Peace Prayer on it, and he was so adamant that I do this kind of music. And he's a very strong-willed person, you know, and he just really drove it home to me, you know, that this was my calling in life, to do this kind of music. So I started doing that, and it just developed over a year. I started building my repertoire of different songs that I had to get it to an audience, that I had to find songs that would appeal to an audience of such a broad base of beliefs.
Right.
And because I was singing in so many different places. And so I came across some really unusual songs, and most of them are not very well known. Now, In This Very Room is very well known, but a lot of them aren't. And so I've done sort of my own rendition of them. And a lot of people think that I write all these songs, and I don't. I do write some
Well,
of
but
them.
it's, you know, your heart is just completely thrown open. You know? So it feels like you're writing it on the spot, is what it feels like. You
Well,
know, I
each-
mean, it's just so much heart there.
Well, each time I sing it, it's a new experience, because it never gets old to me, because it actually becomes sort of a meditative experience for me, because I'm constantly singing for audiences that are very spiritually attuned, and it's my job to help them become more attuned, or to connect with that attunement that they've already developed within themselves. And so each time that I do this, I'm connecting myself, you know, so the song is always different, because every time you go into meditation, it's different. So the song becomes like a meditation. So it never gets old. As
So
many
you
times
travel the world doing these things, or all over the United States at least, right?
Well, the last 2 years I've started traveling more and more, because I've sort of sung all over Southern California, and I started getting invitations to go out of the country.
Right.
And I've gone to Canada. I'm going to Canada for my 3rd time this month. And
Is that with Norma Milanovich?
I do travel with, well, I don't exactly travel with her. We
Right.
try to match our schedules where we can
Right.
be, you know, in different cities at the same time. So I've gone to Canada 2 times, and then I've toured the United States. I just came back from a tour of the Southwest to Texas, and Texas was wonderful. It
What
was,
an exciting life. You get
Well-
to do what you love and open everybody's heart.
it's quite a unique experience.
Had you ever sung for 1,200 people at one time before? Or was that your introduction to the so-called world stage?
I've sung for 1,200 people before, but not in that particular type of audience, not that type of
Right.
audience. That audience was very, very attuned spiritually, and it was very powerful. I knew
And
exactly.
there were people from all over the world there. That might be where you picked up
Yeah.
these singing all over the world. Maybe those
Yeah.
people will carry the messages from your heart back to their countries.
Well, I hope they do. They have my tapes in the other countries, and I get calls from people from other countries. So it's becoming very interesting.
So do you have, I know I have one tape. Do you have any CDs or just that one tape? Or?
I have 3 tapes. I have a 2-song tape that has One God and the Peace Prayer on it, which is the one that I was mentioning that Paul Masters had been so adamant about.
Yeah.
You know, you have to do this kind of music.
Yeah.
And so I've had that one for several years, and that was my first tape. And then I came out with a tape called Higher States of Mind, and that's a song that I co-wrote with a lady by the name of Mary Rings. And so that's the title of the tape and everything, but that's also a song on there too. And then in 1995 I came out with Messages from the Heart. So I have 3 altogether, and I'm working on another one now.
Oh, are you? Oh, amazing.
I know there are some, because we get tapes from them all the time. I mean, there are like spiritual labels, right, that can distribute them easier than you can, right? Because they have, are any, you know, is there any interest in that with you or with them, or are there any, you know, talks about that? You know, somebody who can really, is in the business of distributing tapes like that, or catalogs, or...
Well, at this time I haven't really connected with distributors, because I have been primarily singing at spiritual events, at churches, and I think at the expos there are more contacts with the distributors there, and I'll be doing expos soon. I'll be doing one, I believe, in October, and I'll definitely be doing one in November. And so we'll see what happens there. I'm sort of in between New Age and in between Christian, you know, and it's sort of a unique niche. And if I have to, you know, continue with my own label, that's fine too, because it continues to grow.
Well, in a way, you know, you have mass appeal, because it's not, you know, it's not a limited thing. The way that you sing, it feels to me like it could be mainstream, and then it could be as accelerated as WeSock was when we met. It sort of fits into wherever the heart opens. It just fits right in there.
Well, I'm working on some. Maybe my next tape will have more crossover material on it. So I'm working on. I'm going to be co-writing with a young lady that I met recently, and I have a lot of confidence in what we'll be able to do. I have several songs that are halfway done, and I think that she and I can complete them, and we're going to bring it more to a broader audience, and that some of the songs will be love songs, you know, that can be taken spiritually, or, you know, used in whatever way a person wants to interpret them, and hopefully we will reach a larger market audience, whatever.
So you're busy. You've been really busy, haven't you?
Well, because I'm doing so much of it myself, yes. I've been very busy.
We do a lot of it ourselves too.
I'm sure you know all about it.
Right. When you're sending out all the tapes and taking all the calls, I know it's true.
But, you know, in a way, it's like we do a lot of it ourselves, but we get the reward of, you know, having a lot of our actions be service, you know,
and interacting with all the people.
Instead of just hiring.
It's that personal thing.
It's really beautiful that way.
When somebody else is selling your tapes for you, you know, you don't really get to hear what they have to say about, you know, how much it touched them, or, you know, it's just, it's an incredible feeling. I hate to lose that, you know, if that happens in the future, but I'm sure something better will take its place.
Stay open. See what will happen.
So you're going to sing another song, Higher States of Mind. Is this one you've written or not?
It's one that I co-wrote with Mary Rings from Los Angeles.
Okay, so yeah, I just wanted to, you know, I guess we're going to go out with Dwain singing, and then we'll have the closing credits. So. Yeah, it's been an exciting night, and we're really happy that Kathryn and Dwain could make it here with us tonight. And
maybe I could just say, well, thank you. I wanted to thank you, Dwain. While you go set up, and then I'll see you again in May.
Yes.
At that big event.
Absolutely.
And Kathryn, also, I want to thank you very much for being on our show and bringing your wondrous art and your sweet self.
Thank you very much for having me here. It's great.
The hour went by really fast.
I know, it took us a long time to set up, because I don't know, we've got sets everywhere and flowers and paintings. And Kathryn got tied up in traffic, so I mean, it took a little while for that to happen. So if there's any questions about anybody who wants Dwain's tapes, or Kathryn's cards, or 8x10s, or anything, or wants information, or a chance to talk to them, please contact Estancia Rai. You can reach me at 687-2053 in Santa Barbara. And if you're calling from outside the state, it's 805-687-2053. So good night, everybody. God bless you. And we're going to go out with Dwain, so whenever Dwain's ready. Thank you again for coming. God bless.
Thank you.
We can explore, we can change, we can open the door to receive more than ever before through higher states of mind. We can now grow, and as we're learning, we'll soon come to know that we were yearning for love that unfolds through higher states of mind. Just have faith and believe. Just be open and willing to receive. You'll be guided as your destiny lead you to the truth that sets you free. Those who will dare find prosperity and love to share, and through wisdom and grace they are aware of higher states of mind. So come, see that your heart and mind and soul shall be free as you touch your own divinity through higher states of mind, higher states of mind. So come, you will see that your heart and mind and soul shall be free as you touch your own divinity through higher states of mind, of mind.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dwain. Good luck to you. Well, looks like we were given an extra minute by some miracle. That never happens.
Usually we're way out of time, out of space. So
anyway, I hope everybody was spinning during the social. And uniting their higher states of mind with their lower states of mind, and just like coming up, that would be fun. Okay.
So why don't you tell people about next week? I know Rana Harmon. Oh, is it Rana Harmon?
Rana Harmon is going to be on, and she is so wonderful. And she has been a channel for Archangel Michael for many years, I think for 15 years. And she channels him for large groups all over the world, so she's global with that, and also in a lot of different magazines. And Archangel Michael's presence comes in very, very strong. And there's a lot of people that channel Archangel Michael, but Rana's kind of famous for that. She's very excited about coming, and she said that Michael has a lot to share, so there's going to be a fairly large segment where Michael's going to just be sharing his love and power with the viewing audience.
Actually, and Abigail's singing again.
And Abigail's going to be singing, and Abigail wrote a song directed towards Archangel Michael, which is a completely perfect match up here. So I'm
good night,
really
everybody.
Watch in 2 weeks. God bless you.
Thank you, everybody. Excellent job.
Break it down. Okay. Down it goes. All right.
What kind of time we working with here?
5 minutes.